All right, y'all. Welcome. Come in, take a seat. We back with another video, man. And this one is a Dr. Umar interview with. I don't know what this podcast is. It's my first time seeing them, so this a new podcast. So we both gonna, experience who they are and learn who they are and stuff. So we gonna get in. We gonna get right into it. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. So let's see what they talking about, man.
Earn all you must. Monetize all you want. Get all the money you can get in this world because the future is not guaranteed for your grandchildren's grandchildren. But make sure this.
Let me pause it because I gotta tell y'all. I hope y'all ready for my little pauses and tangents. And I like to go off and talk, but it is what it is. But we gonna get into the video.
You keep sacred that you always do for free.
What's going on, y'all? This your boy Aristotle Investments. I'm with the main man, Dr. Umar. We about to drop so much knowledge. We talking black history, we talking black finance, we talking black liberation.
White man said, okay, he talking that black talk. Let me see what happened when I take that Benz. He talking that black talk. Let me see what happened when I turn him broke.
Even before we get too deep, that right there, what he just said, that's the one. That's the one. They talking all this pro-black stuff, but as soon as they start trying to take their shit away from them, they change their tune real quick. My prime example, I hate to, get into this, but that Nick Cannon situation, soon as he started, he opened his mouth and what they do? Oh yeah? Okay, we got something for you. He came back and apologized, didn't he? He changed his tune real quick. It happened time and time again with these celebrities. They take the little items and all this little, the material shit. They take that and run with it. They take it over integrity, anything else. They say fuck all that. No, I want to keep living this little lifestyle with this stuff. Fuck y'all. And that's how they live. That's cool. But stop throwing that little, I'm for this, I'm for that. Stop throwing that tag on everything. Just be you. Just live your life and just leave all that. I'm for black people. I'm this. Leave that somewhere else for the people who really doing it. You see what I'm saying? They be faking, and then when they get hot, you see what happened.
Consistency. Are you still standing on your same political square today as you did 10 years ago? Or did you start getting soft? Did you start compromising? You can look at my message today. Look at my...
I told y'all about the tangent. I told y'all in the beginning. I gave y'all a disclaimer, but you see what he's saying. Like it's the same thing. Like I worked a job, right, and it was a Coca-Cola, little factory job, and it got a union, and when I come in, they force the 9 to 5 workers real hard, force them, and basically the new workers get most of the work, and they forced to come in, all that type of stuff. And it's seniority. So the longer you've been there, the easier it is for you. They ain't worried about you. You good because you put time in. You good. That's all cool. But you see the problem. The new people getting overworked and forced. But then once you get a little seniority, you stop caring about how bad it was because now you in a better position. It ain't affecting you no more. It ain't affecting you no more. But you felt the same way. You had the same problem when you was in it. Now that you ain't in it, you could care less. It's the same thing what he's saying with come on, man. They get in position. They don't feel it no more. They living life how they want to. They'll be all right. They turn, this what they do. This what these people do. This is what they do. Because it ain't real. It ain't real from the jump. But all right, I'm going to pause on the tangents. I'm going to let y'all get into the video, though.
5 years ago, look at my message 15 years ago. I never compromise. You must be consistent because without consistency, people can't what? Trust you. I'm trying to give out the wisdom that the ancestors put in my head to give to you.
This is why I stopped shopping on Amazon, and you should too. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first.
Watch this.
Let's get that up out of here.
I'm back with another episode of Kicking It with the OGs, and I got the legendary Dr. Umar Johnson. How you feeling?
Peace and Pan-Africanism. Glad to be with you. Thanks for having me. Much love to the entire ATL family.
Thank you so much for coming. It's definitely an honor to meet you. Definitely an honor to have you here. So I want to kick the show off straight up. What do you believe is the solution for Black people becoming a financial power?
Great question. What is the solution for Black people towards becoming a financial power? I would argue that the biggest obstacle to our financial empowerment is our lack of economic discipline. As you know, being a successful trader, you have to be able to save so that you can invest and build. Our people are trapped in a consciousness of conspicuous consumption. If we do not change that, it's going to be hard to catch up with the other racial groups for a piece of this great American pie community-wise. We may be successful as individuals like yourself, but in order to do this as a people, we're going to have to undergo some serious psychological reconstructing, and we're also restructuring, and we're also going to have to undergo some serious modifications to our economic appetite. We're spending too much money on things we do not need, whereas the things we do need are being left undone. So for example, as I travel the country, nowhere I've been yet, and I've been almost everywhere, there's no Black Wall Street operating for our people. And when I say Black Wall Street, I mean a Black-owned bank, Black-owned school, Black-owned supermarket, Black-owned hospital, and a Black-owned manufacturing and distribution network to give our people jobs and provide them with the basic commodities they need for everyday living. Those 5 institutions are the essence of an independent community. We are $2 trillion people. $2 trillion.
I gotta pause it right here real quick. Like, I like Dr. Umar, but my thing is, what's the point? Like, is your point to help Black people within the system that's oppressing us, or is it to help Black people go against the system or fix the system? You see what I'm saying? It's like, which one is it? What's the angle, so I can understand, what's going on? Because it's like, is we trying to help Black people stay under the same system that's oppressing and unfairly like treating us, or is we going against it and trying to change it? You see what I'm saying? That's something, because I never get a straight. I never understand it with him. It kind of sounds like he trying to like conform and be under it. Like, let's work with it instead of, the other side of that. But that's a question that I think I need a little clarity on. But
this group of Africans in the world, in terms of income, no Black Wall Street. So the financial restructuring of the way we think, our priorities, our values, and most of all, our spending habits must be a priority if we're going to change this situation.
You actually were the one who pointed out that whole system where we need the banks, the hospitals, the schools, we need to be vertically integrated pretty much in order to succeed. So I want to get to the next question. Where do you see the state of Black people in the next 10 years?
That's a great question. Where do I see Black people in the next 10 years? I'm going to say that as we sit here
I don't like how they be having these questions. Like, come on, is we going to talk about something, or is we just going to like ask these blanket questions that's just like pointless? Come on, like, what do it matter where he see Black people in 10 years? We need to focus on what we finna do now. Like, what's going on now? What is we doing for in that 10 years, something to be different, for it to look how we want it to look? You see what I'm saying? Not what do it. Come on, man. I just don't like how to. I don't know. He knew, so I don't know. I guess, yeah, it's episode 2, so I see what he got going on, but that's something that I see it a lot.
24. that if we don't fix this in the next 10 years, which will be 2034, then by 2054, we will all but be exterminated, annihilated, or incarcerated in this country. Right now, as you know, there is a government sanctioned and financed migrant takeover of key black cities in this country. They're bringing in the migrants to take over New York City from the blacks, to take over Chicago from the blacks. I was in Kansas City. They have a migrant community. New Jersey has a migrant community. I was in Sacramento, migrant community. Antioch, migrant community. Los Angeles has already had one. The point that I'm making is America never intended black people to be here long term. They never intended us to be here long term. In their opinion, we have worn out our welcome. So to help usher us out the way, they're going to bring the migrants in to exhaust all of the remaining social services so there's none left for us. They're going to take over all of the available industry jobs, low pay and labor jobs, so there's nothing available for us.
Can I ask you something? Do you
Sure.
believe that's a target towards black people or all minorities, no matter
Black
if
in
you're Hispanic,
particular.
Black?
Black in particular. And I'm going to tell you why. The migrants are already Hispanic. Asians have already been chosen by the white power structure to be the priority minority. So the Asians are set.
Yeah.
The Native Americans have their reservations. Latinos are the migrants. Indians are already doing well. East Indians. Arabs already have their stake. Who are the only people in America who do not control any part of the American economy? It's the American African. It's black folks. Look at the Indians, their share of the hotel market. Look at their share of the fast food markets. Look at the European Jews with the banking industry, the Asians with the import and export. If you look, there's a color on every sector of society. What sector of society do black people control? We can't say music and entertainment. Because although we are the raw
We the
product,
face of it, yeah,
we are
but
not the
we ain't getting
controllers
money from
of
it.
those corporations.
Yeah, we the face of it, but we ain't get no money from it. That's what I'm saying. We always, and then like we go around, we the trending topic. We start we trendy. Being black is trendy. Everybody want to be black, but don't nobody want to be black. That's true. It's a fact. Everybody, they like to dress like us, act like us, talk like us. You name it, they do it. It's coming behind who? But nobody want to be us. We ain't get no money behind it. And we claim it. We all claim it. Everybody want to, but ain't no money coming to us. We still enslaved. That's what that is. You the happy slave, that's all. You don't even know you a slave and you a slave. Everybody getting money off you except you. Come on, man.
Look at hip hop. Most of that is controlled by Caucasians. Look at Hollywood.
Something we created, we don't even own. Nobody black is getting money off of this. How? How do that work? How do that work? But when you think about it, it's the same people that created the patent system. You know, like when you patent something, like, oh, I own it, I created it. But really, you ain't make that. You don't even know how it worked. You ain't make that. You stole it. But it's America. It's America. Come on now. It's America. So if I go there first and I tell them I made it, I made it. Hey, there's nothing you can do about that. Copyright, whatever you want to call it. It's the same stuff. Same stuff, different name. They've been doing it throughout history, forever. They're going to keep doing it till we do something about it.
Caucasian. What
Together.
do we own and control? And if we are going to survive this economically, black people need to come together, your generation in particular, and decide what part of the American economy are we going to corner and monopolize. Because it ain't about competition. It's about monopolization. People are trying to monopolize aspects of society. Nobody wants competition. What did John D. Rockefeller say? He said competition is a sin. And what did the Rockefellers do in order to take over the oil industry? They sabotage all the competitors so there would be no competition. The problem with us, Brother Aristotle, is our religious indoctrination has taught us that the way to succeed in the world is to collaborate with other groups. Nothing wrong with respecting other groups. But guess what? Nobody is interested in collaboration. When the Chinese come to Atlanta, they're not coming here to share with you. They're coming to find a piece of their own pie. When the Arabs get here, when the Jews, who's looking to collaborate with black people? Nobody. But we're looking to collaborate with anyone. We're extending a hand that is never reciprocated. We have to get the eye of the tiger. We have to get the dog mentality that says, I'm going to fight for a piece of this American dream so my grandchildren's grandchildren can eat food, wear clothes, and sleep in a home with a roof on top of it. We are not as aggressive economically as we should be as a people.
I agree with what he said. You know, do it for your grandchildren, so they could eat, and you feel me? But at the same time, I don't want to do it for my grandchildren if they're gonna be able to eat and have clothes, but they still gotta live in a world that they look down upon. They gotta fight an uphill battle in every aspect of life. What's the point? What's the point? Is it really a life to live if I'm giving them, I'm helping them, but to what extent? They live a comfortable life in an uncomfortable society? Like, come on, man. Like, we got to go to the root of the problem. That's what I mean. A lot of people like to focus on the surface of the problem, like just the top. They don't really get into it. But we gotta get to the root of this. Like, what am I going? That's what I mean when I speak on the help that's not really help. Like, I take you fishing with me again, but I ain't gonna teach you how to fish. I'm gonna give you a fish though. Here you go. But I ain't gonna teach you how to fish for you to go eat for yourself, for you to go feed your family. I ain't gonna do that. But I'm gonna give you a fish. I know how to fish. We good over here. Come on, man.
Imagine if we were as aggressive with our financial investments as we are with our materialistic consumptions. Think about that. A sister will go to the other side of Atlanta to get the right weave. A brother will go to the other side of Atlanta to get the right pair of Jordans. You see this? Look at how we go out of our way to buy things that have no true value or impact on the community. But when it comes to the things that have an impact on the community or that we should be valuing, very little interest in it. Before we can have an economic revolution, there has to be a psychological revolution. If we don't change the way we think, we never change the way we spend.
Most people have no clue that in 2023, the best way to make money on Amazon is not with physical products.
Oh, man, what's going on?
Have you always wanted to invest in stocks, learn the stock market, interested in trading?
He trying to
30 when they
man. I'm gonna edit this part out, yeah.
Young American African
being made though. Can
I
you talk
do.
about the link in the
I
comments?
ain't know this was
Keep
in.
watching. Do you see any progress being made though? Can
I
you talk
do.
about that?
I do.
Let's talk
One
about
of
the
the
progress.
things that I like is I just read a report that talked about young American Africans being the largest and or the fastest growing investment population in America. Those under 35 represent the greatest growth in the stock and investment market. I'm loving it. Here's where I would give them some direction. I'm glad you're doing this. But when do all of you doing these investments come together? You see this? How do we consolidate this? Where is the virtual integration across platform and investor so we can create some opportunities for the community? Because while you all are doing a great job building this wealth, we still got young brothers in Buckhead blowing each other's brains out. We still got brothers in Philadelphia, New Jersey.
Him saying that just made me think of, you know, that little topic that everybody was talking about. It was you go out to eat with your friends or whatever. It's a group of y'all, right? And you eat something small, like your food $12, but your other friend $75, $50, $100. You see what I'm saying? And at the end when a bill comes, oh yeah, everybody let's put our money together and we split it up evenly. And I feel like it's the same thing as that. It's like, you want me to hold on. My food only costs $12. You ate $100 worth of food, but you wanna get a deal, and all of us pay together as one, and we say to pay the same price, but you ate so much. Why you ain't paying for your own food? You know? And I feel like that's the same thing as this with, they making their money, and then you like, well, how about you put your money over here into, And it's the same thing. And it's just like, that's a tough situation. And that's why it's looked at how it is and it's frowned upon, because it's like, if one person doing all the work, but everybody want to latch on to that work that you put in, but nobody wanted to help you. You see what I'm saying? And it's a tricky situation, but crab in a barrel. It's the same thing, man. It's tough. It gets to that point, but it's tough, but we'll figure it out.
Houston, Baltimore, killing each other. So my thing is, are we just trying to become the 21st century's version of the black bourgeoisie? Are we trying to become the 21st century's version of the talented 10th? Or are we going to try to use this wealth to help create opportunities for those on the bottom? In other words, the future for black economics, the leadership of the future of black economics will be for those of your generation and beyond who not only builds wealth for themselves, but find a way to empower those at the bottom. Because until we do that, we're only operating from a black bourgeoisie agenda.
You have an interesting point. And that 40% of young black investors investing, I personally believe I have a large impact in America on that happening. Meaning, like, me as a young black fly brother doing what I do,
yes, sir.
And I teach. So I teach for free every Sunday. I have a show called Stock Sundays. So I teach for free every Sunday. I got a large real estate project that I can't say on camera that I'm building on the south side of Atlanta. So to answer your question, we are, as young black men, coming together behind the scene. It is my generation. I got the #1 developer actually showing up now here to come watch you. Young black developer. I'm the #1 young black investor, like, in America, period. Like, right now, as far as what we do. So we are in the early stages of, because I know everybody in my industry as far as finance, and we trying to figure it out right now as we speak.
Yes, sir.
Like, we are. And you're right, empowering the bottom. You said that the best thing was empowering the bottom is how we get there.
Yes, sir.
So I started this thing called the Small Account Challenge for my business. Teaching people how to grow 1,000, 2,000. You see how he just said he turned a band and he's up 3 now?
Yes, sir.
See, I learned that we got to empower the bottom as well. So that's my niche. My niche is teaching you how to invest with little money. Because you're right. We were focusing on the black bourgeoisie for a while. Like, okay. And I had to tell people, look, everybody ain't got 100,000 to throw in crypto. These people working with a rack. You get what I'm saying? 1,000. So you can't show
afford the waste.
Thank you. So we always have to talk to the bottom if we want to get solutions for the black community.
Yes. And the reason why we got to talk to the bottom is no matter how successful you may be, I may be, our brothers over there may be, when you go to your car at night, or when you go to your car in the morning, or when your queen or your children or your mother or your father go to their car at night or go to their car in the morning, you don't ever want a tragedy to be waiting for them because someone who you don't even know, who envies what you have done with your life, is angry and jealous that you selfishly didn't show me how to do this as well. See, in order for us to protect ourselves from black on black crime, we have to show black people that we're thinking about them as well. So when that 12 and 13-year-old brother pulls up on you in your Benz, in your Phantom, in your Mercedes, and pull out the gun and say, give me everything you got, and you ain't moving fast enough, God forbid, he takes your life, we as a community have our DNA on that crime. Because if we were creating opportunities for the brothers in the streets and sisters at the bottom, he would have never had to roll up on you in that Mercedes. See, here's the thing. Economics by itself is not capitalism. Capitalism is when you have an inequitable distribution of the wealth. This is true not only for America, it's true for the black community. Wherever there's capitalism, which is exploitation of the resources by the few to the detriment of the many, whenever you have that inequitable distribution of wealth, you have crime.
So I have a question to ask you. When you said it is my generation, you believe it is my generation who is responsible for the growth of black people, or do you believe your generation still
It's
has
all
to
of
work?
us.
It is?
The reason I'm pointing to your generation in particular, because
Right.
the youth always carries the revolution.
True.
Do you follow me? So we are all involved, but it's the youth that carry the revolution. Go back to civil rights, right? Even though Dr. King's face was on it, and he was a youth himself, but although his face was on it, if it wasn't for them HBCU students at the Greensboro sit-in, if it wasn't for them HBCU students on the Freedom Riders, you see what I'm saying? If it wasn't for the youth, those civil rights bills never get passed. So now we're talking about an economic revolution. You see what I'm saying? Not only is your generation more knowledgeable than your parents' generation, you have the energy and the fearlessness to get it done.
True.
You see what I'm saying? So we all in this. It's all for one, but it's always the youth that takes us where we got to go. As the old African proverb says, old man for wisdom, young man for war.
So I'm glad you're here because
And I'm crying right now because they talking right now. They get into it. I don't really got much to say because they saying everything. It's not much for me to say to that. But yeah, I like what he's saying. Like, and I respect Umar and what he doing and what he stand for. Like, everything he doing, he in his lane. He doing what he supposed to do. Like, no one person is supposed to do everything. You see what I'm saying? What he trying to do is what he trying to do. That's his purpose. That's his goal. You can't take that from him. He doing what he's supposed to do. He on track. Now somebody else doing something else, that's you see what I'm saying? It's multiple different. You don't have to go one way to get to anywhere. There's no one direct way to get to anywhere. You can go a lot of different ways. Think about it like life. Like, if I would have made this decision, or if I would have did this like that, it's the same thing.
I really want to talk about it since you're speaking from your generation perspective. I'm speaking from mine. That's why this show is called Kicking It with the OGs,
Yes,
because
sir.
I already understand that. So my perspective is this. Being in the industry that I'm in, you will say, okay, we have to go to the black banks. We got to go to our black leadership. We have to go to black this, black this.
But if you're building effectively,
No,
the
no.
black leadership will come to you.
But see, yeah, you're right. So I'm the young man who tried that.
Okay.
Hey, black man who's older than me, I got this going on. What do I do? And the one black man who I can honestly say helped me the most is Fly. He's a music executive for Rich Homie Quan and Lucci. You know those
Okay.
two guys.
Yes, sir.
He is the owner of their music catalog, right? So, you know, a man who's up hundreds of M's. So he's been a great mentor to me. But what I was telling him was, because we went to this conference, it's a bunch of white men there, old white billionaires, this and that. And they was giving me all these resources. And I was like, dang, I would go to black brothers for these same things. And not only do they not want to help you, but they feel threatened because young black men like myself are either doing better than them or too close to them. So they don't want to give us the resources. So it's a disconnect from the young to the old because, to be honest, a lot of even your generation somehow just now getting it too. You know what I'm saying? Getting to the paper. So that's another thing too. That's why I'm even doing this, because I'm trying to bridge the gap.
Bridge the generation.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes,
I'm trying
sir.
to bridge the gap because
And I commend you for that.
I need y'all to understand that we're not against y'all, and we need to understand that y'all not against us.
Let me say something to that. You're bringing up a great point, and I
Yeah.
like how you tied it into the name of your podcast.
Yeah.
Couple points. Number one, the reason why we as black men are so egotistical is because we're the only men in America who are not allowed to flex their masculinity in society without people being threatened.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we always lead with our chests stuck out. We always leading with our bravado, our machismo, our male ego. Why? I can't flex my masculinity in the stock market, at least not up until now. You understand? I can't flex my masculinity on my job. I can't flex my masculinity in the political world. Anywhere the black man goes, if he stands confidently in his masculinity, he's considered a threat. So now let me bring it back to what you just said, because it's related. The reason why your elders and my elders, and I'm dealing with this right now, by the way, on the political side, older black men intimidated and envious at what you've done with your life. First of all, don't react to the envy. You have to humble and discipline yourself not to react to the envy, because if they had the opportunities you had, they wouldn't be envious. So there's a humility that we have to flex in the presence of our elders. Respect their struggle. You feel me? Come to them humbly. Sometimes you got to dim your light to make the elder comfortable. That's okay if you're doing it in the long-term interest of the best interest of the black community, right? So in the black community, because of that,
That's the tough part. Like, I gotta, like he said, dim your light for somebody else to accept you. I don't agree with that, because like, I get what he's saying, but it's just like, if I have to dim my light to be around you or for you to accept me or anything of that nature, I don't think I should be here, because now I'm not being who I am. And whatever I'm trying to do, you can't get that from me, because I'm not being who I am. I got to be something I'm not, a shell of myself, for you to accept what I'm doing or what I'm bringing to the table, and for you to act comfortably and provide what you provide. And I don't think that's fair. That's not fair to either one of us. And that's not what should happen. So it's like, in no circumstance, I'm a disagree with that. Like, in no circumstance should you dim your light to fit in nowhere. If people don't accept you for who you are, that's them. They missing out, not you. So you take your light and you go somewhere else. Nah, don't dim your light. I don't agree with that, because nah, you more than that. You better than that. You don't need to dim your light. But I'm gonna chop this video right here. I'm gonna stop it, and I'm gonna this probably the first part of this interview, because this is a 3-hour interview. So this a good chunk, to watch. It's a lot in here, and we're gonna get to it. But I'm gonna stop this video right now. This a good 30 minutes or so. But I'm gonna give y'all a part 2 real soon. When I have the time to record and bring y'all this. But yeah, the message on this video is, don't dim your light for nobody, no matter what opportunity it is, because if that's what was meant for you, you wouldn't have to dim your light to get it. I don't got nothing else to say, man. I'll see y'all on the next video.